Hello, ProBotters, and welcome to Day 3 of ProBots here on ES Champ Season 3 of 2020. We are on the lower bracket, Round 1. So we've got 8 bots going at it for their lives, for their chance in this tournament. We're going to see some eliminations tonight, which is always exciting, but it's always sad as well. We do have some very new bot authors and some old bot authors as well in this lower bracket. So only time will tell to see who moves on. Of course, make sure you check out all the links in the description below. Hit the thumbs up button so we can get a little visibility on YouTube. And a big shout out to our Crown Club as well. Without them, of course, well, we'd probably still do this, but you help it a lot. So you help make ProBots possible. And hopefully we'll have some more seasons in the future. I do know we've got some more stuff planned for next year, but stay tuned for that. We've got our double elimination bracket coming up. Endersword is joining me tonight as always. We'll get him up on screen here. And yeah, this is extended series night. Can you tell everybody a little bit about that, Endersword?
So extended series is basically if you've been knocked down to the lower bracket and you basically face the person that you have been knocked down by, then your previous meeting will actually count. So in other words, if someone knocks you down 2-0 and you beat them 2-0, that is not enough. They basically get kind of credit for beating you, so that you avoid a situation where someone actually goes ahead even though they had a worse series score over the whole thing. So yeah, anytime the two bots are going to face each other for the second time, the results of the first one will be counted towards a best of 7. So basically the other bot would start either 2-1 or 2-0 or 2-0.
Yeah, so basically is giving our bots a little extra chance, because we have seen this season especially already. It's only been 2 days. It's so back and forth. Even though we do have a lot of 2-0s and stuff, it is still very back and forth in a lot of these games. And just at moments, we don't know which way it's going to go. So
yeah, exactly. And once you throw in too that the bots can actually update themselves between rounds, of course, you can get a totally different matchup the second time.
Oh, yeah, and we'll be talking about those as well. We should have, hopefully, some notes on some updates, if any, were created. Hopefully, our bot authors submitted that. But for the next games, we'll have it. Okay, so stay tuned for that. We'll talk about those. But, yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at our bracket, if we can get that up on the screen as well, and take a look at who will be playing tonight. We've got 8 bots going up against each other. We've got Sprouch versus Anibot first. Now, this one's going to be fun. Sprouch, a new bot, and Anibot, our resident personality, I'd say.
Yes.
Always one with a lot of character.
Yeah, it's the Chatterbot.
The Chatterbot, yes.
Yeah, it always has like those succinct replies. And a lot of personality. It's funny, over the years, like a lot of these bots really have developed a personality that people can expect to see from it, but Anibot probably leads the pack in a lot of that. This could be a pretty interesting one. Anibot does tend to customize itself a little bit to what the play is going to be, but we don't know if that's been done for Sprouch, obviously. And Sprouch kind of new on the scene for us, so anyone in the bot author community may know it, but it's probably new to a lot of the viewers here.
Yeah, definitely new to me
on this one. Yeah,
I've got to give it to Anibot just due to experience, and we did see some really good aggressive play out of Sprouch. Was it last week or the week? I think it was last week, wasn't it? Yeah. So it was some really fun play. It is a Terran versus Zerg, that first match.
Yeah.
So it's always
I remember thinking Sprouch was. I think this is the one I was talking about, that saying it seemed really sophisticated for how new it is, but it lacked some of the expanded abilities, because you add those later. Like you're not going to, in your first month coding a bot, teach it how to use swarm hosts or something like that. You're going to add some of that stuff later,
or how to do drop micro.
Yeah, exactly.
Something complicated.
It does what it does really well, and I think it just needs to be built out more. So it's one to watch.
Well, we've seen, just season after season. Ketrock, this is his second season. We've already seen a bunch of improvements out of his bot. So, every week we could see something new and better.
For sure.
All right. Well, next up, after that, we'll have Blinkerbot versus Mad AI. Now, these are 2 returning bots. Or wait, how new is Blinkerbot? Is this Blinkerbot's second season?
Maybe.
Is this Blinkerbot's first season? I don't
think it's the first season. I'm sure that we've seen Blinkerbot before. Yeah.
Yeah, it does use the Sharpie framework. I'd say a handful of these bots use that Sharpie framework. It's really helpful. But yep, that one should be good. And then Fidelina versus Tier will be after our break. That one's going to be exciting. Fidelina, all the talk on the AI stream, and then Tier is just Tier. So it's going to be
that's going to be like, for one of those bots to go out in the first round of the losers bracket would be surprising to. I mean, obviously now it's inevitable, but at the very beginning would have been surprising to say that those two are going to play each other, and then
Tier says it every week. It is inevitable. So, and then finally to wrap it up, we'll have Three-Way Lover versus Doogie Howitzer, another brand new bot.
Yeah.
So a great lineup tonight. I'm very excited to see who will move on. It will be unfortunate that 4 of these bots are going to get knocked out of the tournament.
Yeah.
But it's going to be fun either way. So I think, is that it? Are we ready? Are we ready to hop into these games? I probably missed something, and Drek's going to yell at me. But, let's do a member shout-out. That's what I missed.
Let's do it.
Crown Club, you guys are awesome. Check out the link in the description below to get some special members-only perks. You get some behind-the-scenes footage, some behind-the-scenes shows, just a bunch of fun little stuff. So let's go ahead and roll one of those shout-outs right now. Shout him out. I don't know who they are.
Well, all right, Johnny Zer, Mr. Skix. He's a mod on the StarCraft Reddit.
Oh, nice. I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's also from around here, obviously. But yeah.
Oh, very cool.
shout out to your mods.
Hell yeah. Well, thank you so much, Jonathan, and thank you to our Crown Club. And thank you, everybody, for being here, because we have got an awesome show, and it is about to start. I hope our game is ready. It says soon. Can we hop into our first game? That is what I want to know. Yes, we can, ladies and gentlemen. This is day 3, the lower bracket, round 1, our first match of the night here in season 3 on ProBots. Let's get into it.
Do it out.
Santes, Sprouch. Sabe losses. Any bot. Sabe losses. Any bot.
All right. Yes, we know who it is. Thank you.
It looked like it was going to come out.
All right, yeah, we should have those graphics fixed up soon. Bot authors, make sure if you get a chance, you send us a photo or an image of what represents your bot the best, what you think does. And if you, again, I'm gonna offer it again. Nobody took me up on it last week. If you need help getting an image together, just send me a little message with an idea, and I'll throw something together for you.
Yeah,
as simple as that. And I got some Photoshop skill.
I'm still going to float the threat that if you don't send an image in, I'm going to pick the worst possible image for your bot and just put it there.
We're going to do that next lower bracket round.
Just the next person that's the generic icon, it's going to be like Britney Spears when her head was shaved or something like that.
Looking at you, Sprouch.
Whatever. Yeah. Well, Sprouch technically has a picture.
Does he? I thought his. Oh, his is a blank one.
It's all. Yeah, it's a picture actually. Of,
that's right. I missed it. That's right.
Yeah, it's a picture of a Trump recount rally.
Just empty and
it's just all white.
Non-existent.
It's all white.
Yes. So, all right. Well, we're on Everdream for our first TVZ. Antibot already fearing for its unit's life. Antibot cares about every single SCV.
He knows
with its heart and soul. Yeah. Yeah, Sprouch. I think Sprouch is going to give us a good game here. I'm trying to remember from last week, just a lot of aggressive play, kind of a simplistic unit composition, right? Just some Zerglings, some Roaches, nothing too crazy.
That's what we were talking about, before, that there's not the depth there, but the control was really good, I thought.
Yeah.
It's obviously got things like this. The Lings going out, scouting everything, getting a sense of what's going on. So what it does well, and it just needs to probably expand a bit more on what it does. But that's gonna be
you say that. Yeah. You say that, and I'm looking at this list that finally just got updated.
Oh, is it? Yeah.
There were a lot of updates to
Nice.
Sprouch, so
Okay.
so kudos to you. Who's the author here? Dref Sante, that's right. Kudos to you for putting in a lot of work there. Antibot did have a couple updates as well, just some bug fixes, some strat selection. So definitely coming into this series with a plan by the looks of it. But yeah, I'm excited to kind of see what Sprouch has to offer. You know, it's always fun to see these new bots and what they're going to bring to the table, how they're going to change the meta. You know, it's it's ever changing.
Yeah, definitely. And one of Sprouch's meta shifts is the mass spine crawler at the natural. That did it in the first week as well.
It's good. It definitely against any early aggression, against bots that don't necessarily do some early aggression. It's good. Mm-hmm. But like Tier, for example, if Sprouch ends up going up against Tier, that's going to be, I think, very helpful because Tier's known for some early one base aggression, things like that. So. Mm-hmm.
One thing we don't talk about, like in some of the bot games too, mine's getting down. Will they?
Ooh, yeah, they'll get a couple
kills. Explosion. One thing we don't talk about is, of course, bots, unless they're specifically programmed to do so, don't really adapt to what they're seeing. Like they have to be told that this is a situation. So unlike a human player, where if someone's being greedy, you're going to exploit it. Or if someone's being too defensive, you're going to exploit it by being greedy yourself. These bots don't necessarily react the same way. So if you put up 5 spine crawlers, it's not necessarily going to say, oh, okay, then I'm going to take 4 bases. It's just going to do whatever it was going to do.
Now, one of our bots is working on that though, with the reinforcement learning, right? Which one is that? Is that Blinker Bot?
We've got I think Blinker Bot was one, and then, of course, Doogie Howitzer is also just a machine learning bot, which we'll see later. And
I just remember one specifically is working on things like kind of that short-term memory, remembering, okay, there's this many units here, that kind of thing. Yeah. So, it's these bots are just evolving like crazy.
Yeah, they're going to get more and more sophisticated as we go.
Absolutely.
And I mean, there is to some extent that, like, obviously we've got bots that will scout and then at the 2-minute mark make a calculation based on what it's seeing and so on, and then choose a build. So that sort of thing is prevalent in and around, but it's just an area that you can be a little the harvester.
The harvester, that's right. Thank you guys. Chad always knows. We got some smart guys hanging out in chat. I really like the Widowmine. Didn't I mention this last week?
Yes, you did. About
just putting Widowmines everywhere, and what are we starting to see? It's awesome. I love it. I think it's great, especially if Sprouch doesn't really get detection. Even if he does, you're going to have overseers everywhere. If there's mines just scattered around the map, one false move and you're going to take mine. But again, we've talked about this before. The bots can see the mine, even if there's not detection. Technically, they can't interact with it or attack it, but they'll know it's there. So if something is programmed in to, say run away from that mine, then the bot should be good, right?
It should. I don't know that it knows, and someone can correct me in chat, but I don't know that it knows what it is, but it knows that there is a cloaked or burrowed unit.
Oh, yeah. I guess that's a good question. Is each cloaked or burrowed unit have a distinct signature? Like a burrowed roach and a burrowed mine. Can you tell what it is based on its like shape, its avatar? That's a good question. I haven't thought about that.
Yeah, because I know that had come up before for like the Protoss side, that it was hard to distinguish between like an observer and a DT. It wasn't until the DT attacked that it was able.
Oh, it's gonna be juicy. Real good one. Even with the detection, the Lings commit a little bit too hard there, so a little work to do on the split micro. That was a juicy hit. Yeah. Anyway, sorry, you were saying.
Again, just that if it doesn't know how to distinguish between it, and very often it has to take a cue, it can see that there's a invisible thing in a place, but it doesn't necessarily know what it is. And so, is this Widowmine distinguishable from like a ghost or something? Until it gets uncloaked, I don't know that it is.
Okay, so we're getting. So I guess by default, no, you won't know. So you have to tell it. This is that kind of thing. Well, like most things, it seems. With the bot. So that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and you can see this too. Like again, the lings are. I don't know if this is programmed behavior, but they're making some effort to take a smaller group.
Yeah, you see some hesitation a little bit,
but then they're not fully. It's clearly not fully executing on that. That a bigger group does come. It doesn't really deal with multiple mines well, and so on, and that's difficult anyway. But yeah. But that's something like, have you specifically programmed in how to deal with this?
Ooh, Anybot coming in with some nice little marine pressure and some beautiful micros, going to try to clear out these Zerglings and put some pressure on the 5th base. And it looks like the Marines will take the fight as they fall back to the high ground where there's some extra Widow Mines. So Widow Mine and Marine versus Mutaling.
Yeah.
Ooh, this is going to be an uphill battle for Sprouch. But as I said, he's got a 5th base on the way, so...
Yeah, and we saw, obviously,
fine, right?
last week, Sprouch going to the high economy Ling and Muta Floods. And this could be... The Widow Mines everywhere are actually pretty good against both the Lings and the Mutas.
Oh, God, we're dumb. A very obvious point. The Widow Mine's the only burrowed Terran unit, so
well,
it's obvious to know.
I wasn't sure whether it made a difference between Burrow and Cloak.
Yeah, but...
It's identical, but yeah. Okay.
Well, and I guess it wouldn't matter too much as Zerg. If it's burrowed as Zerg, it's like kill it anyway because it's Zerg, It doesn't matter, so... I don't know. It's just a curious thought, but... Ooh, here we go. Yeah, I love this Widow Mine play. Just Widow Mine's kind of scattered around the map, working in teams here. So the Lings seem to be doing a little bit better job now. It's like they're learning real time almost.
Yeah, it almost does feel like that.
Feels like that. Yeah.
I don't imagine it's actually the case, but yeah, they're acting like really appropriately, like a single Ling trying to trigger each mine. Yeah.
Wow, okay, Sprouch is looking really strong. Adrenal Glands got a 6th base on the way, just nonstop Ling pressure, keeping Anibot busy. This is...
Yeah, and it kind of feels like Anibot should be the one that's being more offensive here. It's mining the entire area, but it's not using the mines offensively yet. And it kind of feels like you should, if you're committing this much to the mines, there should be mines trying to run into mineral lines or being dropped or something. Because you're mining at the middle of the map, that's very nice, but it's not going to win you the game.
Yeah, well, and I guess maybe going for the cost-effective trades, you get a big, juicy Widow Mine hit. Obviously, that mine's paid for itself. But we're seeing here, a lot of mines just going off on a few Lings here. There's some really nice spreading. Sprouch just sending a few Lings forward to kind of bait those mine shots out. And that's what's keeping Anibot from being aggressive, I think, is just can't push forward. Every time a mine shoots, it's got to run home.
Yeah, and I do like this type of micro that we've seen out of the mines. Are really actually acting like Banshees.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Where basically when the Banshee starts to get hurt or its cloak runs out, it runs home. And these ones are basically doing the same thing. When it fires off and it knows it can be seen, it's going to run away if it gets attacked until it recharges.
Well, that's brilliant because the mines, if you can keep grouping them up and save them, that's just cost effectiveness over time. Every shot they get off, even if it's one Zergling every time, you get 20 of those, it's paid for it, So it's just great to keep those alive as long as possible. Yeah, so nicely done. But hey, Sprouch is still putting up a great fight, non-stop splitting and dealing with these mines. But finally, Anibot's able to get some pressure onto the creep here, and Sprouch's bases are starting to take some hits. I don't know. It's
box them in. There is something right down the middle of the natural.
Ooh, that was a pretty good one.
Big shot.
Oh boy, here we go.
Yeah. So Vikings. Yeah, so a Thor and Vikings kind of stuck in while the mines are distracting everybody.
Oh, the mines are keeping the Lings just so busy. Oh, and finally, it's like the Lings forgot. They don't have their overseer. That's why.
It's exactly like you said. Once it's so spread out, it's hard to keep track, and then they're not responding to the other ones.
Yeah, because they're focused on one and maybe don't recognize that there's 3 more behind it or something. Ooh, man, that Thor is going to go down by the looks of it, but Anibot's putting on some pressure. I like this, and still expanding a little bit slower than Sprouch, but so far I think the trades have been a lot better for Anibot. Can we see the resources lost tab? Is that a thing?
This is this
look
is
at
almost
that.
like an exact replay of last week where we were seeing
Ketrock was
it's a
just
little
killing it all, right?
it's almost even worse. Yeah, that it's about 4 to 5 to 1 so far, because just none of these mines are really dying. That Reaper's still alive from like the beginning. Okay.
He's like, his
kill
own mine. He was gonna get away too. What a bummer. Poor guy. And he knew the cost signing up.
I like the Vikings going specifically after Overlords. I really like too. That's something I think I was saying in the Ketrock game, that there were points where the Vikings could have just wiped out the supply count and supply capped them permanently.
That could have been way worse.
That was a warning shot.
Yeah, it stuck to the front of the group. Yeah, it could have been really bad. As it is, though, Antibot has just been trading way too effectively. Finally, Thor dies here or there, but Antibot's fine back at home. Sprouch can't do any kind of harassment because there is just waves of mines and Thors and Vikings just from every single direction. Every single front has something coming Sprouch's way.
That was a massacre. And where are the mutas this game as well? Like, you've got perfect muta defense between the mines, Vikings, and Thors. But that's something we saw in the Ketrock games, that he was getting up to constantly like 12 mutas, and they were always attempting harassment. You see nothing on Antibot's side of the map really at all, unless the Lings get basically jebaited into a minefield.
I am loving this mass mine Thor style. It's super good right now, and I'm trying to think of something that could deal with it effectively as Zerg, and it's kind of hard. Maybe like Roach Ravager or something, but Muta's obviously not because of the Widow Mines and Thors, and I don't know. Sprouch! Oh, Sprouch is doing it. He's getting some, I guess he's counting the command center as just like a million wins right now.
I think so.
He's like, hell yeah, I finally got a base. Take that.
Gets confident. Yeah, you need something that kind of can clear these out of the range.
Oh, for sure.
I almost said, well, I did say jokingly to start, like Swarm Hosts would be something that could be added into Sprouch's arsenal, and it actually wouldn't be that horrible an idea here, that you could just kind of wave things down and trade. At least then you're swapping the mine hits out for free units.
That's not a bad idea. Do you think that would be a comparable trade, the Locust versus the Widow Mine?
Yeah, given that the Locusts just come back, they didn't cost you anything.
I mean, you got to factor the cooldown into account, though,
because they cost you time. But there's nothing here on Antibot's side that is going to pounce on you. So,
wouldn't you have to kind of treat them the same as the mines and really spread out those locusts, though? Because say you've got them all kind of grouped up in one spot and you use your whole wave of locusts, every cooldown time, there's still mines coming in nonstop,
You might, but I'd almost do the opposite, where I would concentrate on an area and just drive down the middle or something, or drive down the side. And just kind of leave the mines spread out around you and only kill the replacement ones. But you would need the overseers with you, and Plus, on the given that you have bot control, you could have the swarm hosts launching individually. Perpetually.
Oh yeah.
You could have like 14 swarm hosts just perpetually launching.
That's what I'm thinking. It's like for each mine, you kind of almost have to have one swarm host, man-to-man coverage a little bit.
Yeah.
And keep them busy. Because the cooldown, I think the swarm host cooldown is a little bit shorter than the mine cooldown, right?
I'm not
trying to.
Probably. I'm not sure.
Yeah, just off the top of my head, I'm not 100% sure. But
it's been a while since I've even really seen swarm hosts.
Man, this is. I think Sprouch is finally starting to feel hurt. Antibot's just been 200 for pretty much 6 to 7 minutes now, and has just controlled the map completely.
And you can see what I was talking about earlier when it was at 186 supply. There's only 74 supply of space, 66 supply of space out there.
Yeah.
Sprouch cannot rebuild anything. It can only build the Overlords back, and they're just being picked off faster than they can be rebuilt.
That's a great way to keep Zerg on their back foot. Just keep hitting their supply. So definitely, and the Overlords are just kind of off scouting, I guess. The Overseers obviously need to be involved in the fight to help deal with these Widow Mines, but I think Sprouch is just falling apart. There's nothing he can do. He's building Overlords and getting upgrades, but you can't build an army, then you're just gonna die.
Yeah, it's just the suffocation force, and I really like this use of like the individual Thors to go after this stuff. It's just surprisingly effective.
Yeah. I was thinking for our extended series, we're not going to have any of those tonight, right? Yeah, because this is just the first round of the lower brackets. So we'll start seeing those maybe next week, some extended series. So this is just a best of 3 as it stands.
Yeah.
And it looks like Antibot's going to go up 1-0.
Yeah, it's the week after. Yeah, only the 5th week because we'll do the winners.
Gotcha.
And then, then only then can you face your opponent again. But yeah, he's taken everything out. This is just systematic at this point.
Oh yeah, there's nothing Sprouts can do.
That's the one part that needs to be fixed. Is just hitting your own Thor with like 6 mines, but it's fine.
Yeah, I saw another Reaper earlier take a mine shot to the back as it's trying to get away.
Yeah.
Those mines do not discriminate, man. They do not care as long as they hit their target. Wow, good job. Antibot will take a pretty solid and convincing game 1. Sprouts definitely, kept up the pace, was, putting on some aggression, really battling and skirmishing those mines pretty effectively for a good portion of this game. We got to 20-plus minutes. So, yeah, well done there. But Antibot will take game 1 and is in a sweet spot to move on in the lower bracket.
Yep, pretty good. We'll see if the next one is a repeat of this. There was clearly effort, and people mentioned in chat too that there's clearly effort for Sprouts to deal with the Widow Mines with the Lings. Mm-hmm. And it kind of started, it has step 1 of the 2 steps of dealing with the Widow Mines. Step 1, trigger the Widow Mines. It was doing that great. Step 2, clear the Widow Mines. Nah, we haven't coded that part yet. So it would go in, and I think ultimately they got baited that each time the mines were there and reset, he would throw 8 Lings at 8 mines, and then it would kill the 8 Lings, but then he didn't kill the Widow Mine. They would run back, or they would just not get attacked in the first place. So, yeah, it was just sheer attrition that it was taking it down. And then there was no way for the for Mutas to ever get going. And a big part of this Ling Muta strategy is the second word. The Mutas. So you have to get them to some number that they can actually attack, but this is a great way to stop it.
Well, I only saw 3, 2, I really only saw a couple Mutas tops.
He kept making them, but they kept dying.
They just kept dying right. Yeah, it makes sense. Which is unfortunate because some of the upgrades, some of the updates here were for better Mutalisk management. What was the other one? Better use of Mutalisk in defense. Obviously, against Widow Mines, both of those things are just really hard to accomplish with Mutas. So it's unfortunate that those upgrades aren't able to shine this week as he was maybe hoping. But a lot of new changes, and he said, maybe even some new bugs with all those changes. But I gotta say, the play overall did look pretty solid for Sprouch.
Yeah, totally. I mean, that the ability to control the Lings against the mines is quite an accomplishment. It just didn't have the number 2 punch to that. But the way that it split off, the way that it chased a few of them down, that's beautiful. It just needs then the solution after that.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Antibot is looking in a good spot to move on. So it's going to be curious to see, maybe we can get into a later game with Antibot. I do know Antibot likes to use nukes and things like that. Some untraditional, unit compositions that we don't see a whole lot of in ProBots, because it does get a little bit harder, right? To program those later tier 3 things into your bot. To even get to that point is a struggle. And then to use those late units effectively, obviously that's another layer. So, but yeah. It was a good game though. I love this Widow Mine play. I think it's especially against Zerg, so strong.
I also like that the early game here included Marines, and then quickly into the game, probably by the 10-minute mark, none were made anymore.
Yeah, just went straight to Thor.
He moved on from that, and they're important early on, but later he just drops it. And I think that's a good decision as well. Yeah,
it helps buy time for the Widow Mines to retreat and keep grouping up. Because, if the Widow Mines do start just dying off one after one, you're not going to see this crazy spread like we saw, 20 minutes in the game. Just Widow Mines everywhere.
They have to accumulate. Yeah, exactly. They have to accumulate or it doesn't work.
So it helps, to have that mine field. It's a mine does not do much. A mine field does a lot.
Yes.
So Good stuff. All right, well, game number 2 is ready, and we're going to hop into that right now to see if Sprouch can survive or if Antibot will move on in our lower bracket.
Giraffe Santes. Sprouch. Sabe losses. Antibot.
Now, like I said, minefields are the way to go, and that will be Antibot's strategy here on Death Aura. We're just going to see a lot of minefields. I can't see a map where that strategy just doesn't really work out, you know? Just mines everywhere. Is there a map that would not be as good on?
Not
I can't
really.
It's just a good strategy.
Yeah, pretty much. It's going to work.
It's just so hard to do it as a human because obviously, you know, trying to do 10 mines at once. We see Antibot doing 20 like it's no problem. So
yeah, and across multiple screens everywhere. And
always pulling them back, always getting good hits. Yeah,
exactly. Not only that, but the other thing that humans struggle to do with even one mine is targeting the mine. And what you can do is actually a bot could specifically target which ling it wants to kill. It could use the retargeting spam to hold its fire until it wants to shoot.
That would be cool. We haven't seen that yet.
Yeah.
Until you get that super juicy shot.
Yeah.
But it's so hard to tell because say there is an overseer right there and you try to wait for that juicy shot and Sprouch's splits are really good and he's got a couple lings attacking it, you know. So it's going to just die and not be able to run away. So it's a hard call to make. It's those little split decisions that really separate the bots from the humans at this point in time.
It's true. It is true.
Give it time, though. Give it time. All right, so yeah, Antibot's doing the same thing here. And then Sprouch. Yeah, I imagine Sprouch will do the same thing. Maybe try to get up in mutas, but against Thor Mine, it's just going to be an uphill battle.
Yeah, most definitely. If he can get mutas out and on the other side of the map, then it might be able to do something. Although Antibot did have some defensive mines as well in the mineral lines and so on. But yeah, it's a matter of snowballing. Like you need to snowball to a certain amount of mutas in order for them to do any damage. And even the ling count actually never got that crazy high. And it was a lot more passive than we saw before. Because obviously of the Widow Mines.
Yeah, well, I think that's one of his updates actually is keeping his better protection of Zerglings when they don't have speed. So he was just being a little bit more timid. Yeah, really didn't want to lose a big old clump of lings to something. So it's pretty good micro. Definitely a phenomenal start for Sprouch. Yeah, I'm really excited to see what Sprouch's got. I can't remember. I gotta remember to pull up the AI arena list, the bots and kind of where they place. But Sprouch was in the top 16, so is obviously doing something right. Top 12 even technically because the last 4 bots got invited over. So
for sure.
Sorry, what did we see?
No, just I mean the micro, like the abilities that it has are quite sophisticated. I mean the macro is really high. Like it's kind of has not been. Sprouch is probably the bot that's been like the most like cheated so far on. I feel like the 2 opponents that it's had to face, it's just been running into a brick wall.
Yeah.
It's getting like a 6 base economy with crazy micro lings and really good control mutas and, you know, it's scouting everywhere and it's spreading creep everywhere and overlords everywhere. And then it runs into like the mass Raven, mass Viking, mass Widow Mine. Like it's just run into stuff that it can't deal with. But this would, death. Like you could just see how this would annihilate most other bots. Like if you're doing a traditional strategy and someone's just ling flooding you off 6 bases, it's probably going to work a lot of the time.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. You would not shoot the unarmed mine. Nope. Well, I mean, Zerglings can't shoot, so you're fine there. Actually, I'm seeing here, apparently a lot of older bots know how to use the Widow Mines well. I just don't remember seeing really a lot of Widow Mine play, at least in my time here at ProBot. So I guess I'm glad that it's the meta's coming back around. And that's just kind of the inevitability of StarCraft is the metas will just kind of cycle through over and over again. So that's cool. I love the Widow Mine play. Personally, I hate them on ladder, but they're fun to watch.
Yeah, exactly. They sure are.
All right.
And
Well, Annie,
with the upgrade too, like he gets the upgrade fairly quickly, or at least he did in the first game. And
which one?
That the drilling claws.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, whatever.
Oh yeah, if you're going Widow Mine strategy, you gotta get it.
You gotta get that. But once he got that, the behavior of the lings changed as well because obviously they weren't just auto-detected when they fired.
Well, so far Sprout, being quite passive. A little more passive this game, it seems, because speedlings are done. So we should be seeing a little bit of aggression. Here we go. A pack of links coming out. There are no overseers just yet, right? So, there's one. Okay. There's one. So now Sprout is going to start moving out and trying to deal with some of these Widow Mines, and we'll see how the AI is. Hopefully the splits are good, and maybe Sprout can clear these mines up and bring us to a game 3. Ooh, I kind of like that too. If you could use it, get enough overseers and use the changeling to bait the Widow Mines, that would be pretty good too, right? And it's even if you got to wait a little bit, every single mine you can bait out with a changeling would be one less mine that's going to hit your lings. So.
I think it's this part right here that needs something. So he goes out, triggers a mine, is going to bait it to fire, and then it was sending like 3 or 4 lings to clean that mine. But by the time it does that, other mines came. Whereas if it kind of triggered the mine and pounced on it, as long as it knew there weren't other ones there yet, then that's what can keep the count down. But it's obviously gun shy to do so. And I think that needs to be whatever.
This is going to be... Oh, no.
But then look down.
The one on the low ground, the one we did not expect.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Amazing. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it'd almost be interesting to see kind of a split, like you're trying to split from Banelings, but doing it forwards with Zerglings. Does that make sense? So you kind of split a few forward and have the rest attack, but then split a few forward to keep moving forward, essentially. Right. Kind of like leapfrog, baiting the mines, clear ahead, but keep moving forward with that main force to clean up the mines as you go. Yeah.
Yeah, you need that clearing path forward. And yeah, that's exactly kind of what I mean is you need to trigger them and then swarm them, not trigger them and then back up, because then they're going to retreat and reset and you haven't gained anything. You just donated 8 lings to it, which isn't a lot, but it adds up really fast.
Well, every time the mine, like you said, every time the mine gets recharged there, you just wasted those lings if you didn't kill the mine, so essentially. Well, no, it's going to be another one of those. You can't get it in time. Changes paths. Ooh, Sprout's getting some lucky breaks here in game 2, which could help him out. Sprout's just trying to get out there on the map and deal with these mines, but Antibot is just so good at pulling these back. Here comes the little Marine force to help. Ooh, that was a good shot. And now he knows there's air units on the way, so Vikings are going to start producing, and I don't know if the mutas are going to be able to do as much as they hope. But as I say that, there's 5 in the main base right now. But there's a mine right there. Oh, they haven't even gotten into that one on the right.
The other one,
Yeah. It's just not quite enough. Well, we'll see. Maybe these 3 can get some. Oh, my goodness. Nope. Look at that smiley face.
No deal. No deal.
It's a Cyclops smiley face.
Yeah.
Did you see it? The command center is the eye?
I did. It was excellent.
Oh, goodness.
And I think that's what happened in the first game, a bit off camera. I don't think we witnessed it, but once that first flock of mutas was dead, they just never really accumulated.
Well, they rely on that snowball effect just as much as, the Zerglings or the Widow Mines do. If you keep losing them, they're not going to be very effective. If you can get up to 10, 15, you can start sniping things off. You can maybe take an engagement with a Thor, because we do see the Thors from Antibot, just kind of by themselves, helping supplement helping defend the mines and stuff. But do we even have Thors yet? No Thors just yet, but they should be coming down soon.
Yeah, he's getting the armory now, and I expect it would follow shortly after that. both of these bots do get a lot of upgrades. That's another good thing about Sprouts that we saw the first week as well. It will eventually get up to 333.
Adrenal glands, flyer upgrades, everything.
Yeah, the Lings eventually get scary, but if they can be one shot, then it obviously dampens that a fair bit.
Oh man, these Lings are somehow skirting past a whole minefield. I guess if you keep moving, you should be fine. But...
Ouch. What happened over there?
And then they went right back into the minefield. So, nice turret placement as well out of Antibot. It's good.
A few mutas alive in these small packs around here, harassing on the edges, but that is probably short-lived as there are like 8 mines there.
Yeah, there's 8 mines per base per like 1 or 2 mutas trying to attack in, and there's just the cost effectiveness is too good for Antibot, and I just don't see a way Sprouch can take it. Yeah, it's already 3 times the resources lost for Sprouch, and we're only 10 minutes into this game, so it's gonna be an uphill battle, and I don't know if Sprouch is gonna have the endurance for it.
Yeah, that's it. He can expand all he likes. The other thing is that the Widow Mines eventually just stop the expansions and, limit him to 6 bases.
Yeah. And once the Overlords start dying too, then they're done for. Yep, Thor's coming out finally. So goodbye, Overlords. Ooh, that was a good one. I'm sitting here waiting for these real juicy Widow Mine shots.
It kind of seems to, and this is I don't know exactly how the micro's working, but it kind of seems like the Lings are really cautious around the mines until they have some other target. Mm-hmm. And then they just suicide. Like, so if there was a Marine there, then like this happens.
Ooh.
Like, and it just kind of, seemed like they would target that thing down and then ignore the fact that there were mines around. Lings will be able to clean up the Thor.
Sprouch is so good at just keeping that economy going. I am still very impressed by that. For a first season contender here, Sprouch is putting on a hell of a good show, especially against this kind of performance. Like you said, not a lot of bots are going to be able to deal with this kind of play effectively. So, especially a Zerg.
Yeah, for sure. He's just kind of hit the couple things that will deal with it quite well. And in really good proportions too. Like the balance between the Thors and the Vikings on top of the Widow Mines is pretty good. He's making enough of both without making too many of both. Mm-hmm. Like there's not 20 Vikings. There's like, I don't know how many there are, but it's a handful. And there's not like 20 Thors. It's like 3 or 4.
Oh, yeah. The Widow Mines are the star of the show here. The Thors are just there to kind of absorb some hits and maybe line up a good shot. Vikings are there to start clearing the Overlords. Thors, too, to kill the Overlords. So this is just a beautiful Zerg killing clinic out of Antibot. Never under 190 supply after we get to like the 10-minute mark. So it's just phenomenal play. Man, Sprouch, you are just up against one of the hardest challenges I think you could have gone up against. So well fought, but I just don't see any way. Once these Overlords start dying, that's where, see, they're already down. Almost supply blocked for Sprouch. 2 more Overlords go down, and we will be in that zone.
Yeah, and he is constantly remaking. And not only does he have to remake the Overlord, but has to remake the Overseer every time he loses one. Mm-hmm. There, the mutas go into Death Valley yet again. And the Thors, are shockingly effective for, like, the thing that would counter a Thor just on its own is a bunch of Lings.
Yeah.
Like, super easily, but they're just being effective enough and pushing in enough that it works. But you can see, like, how easy it is to take them once you catch them out. But when there's Widow Mines around them, then it's the worst thing to counter them with.
Yeah. So definitely a few tweaks to be done still, but all in all, Sprouch has dealt with this, as best as maybe it possibly could have. There's just so many mines. Even a bot is going to have trouble with this many mines and trying to deal with each instance and split the right amount of Lings and don't push too far into the minefield because you don't know how many mines are back there. Like I keep thinking, okay, that's the end. Oh no, there's another. Oh, there's another. It just never ends.
The only other thing I could think of to kind of deal with this, like if I was a human player trying to deal with this, is Antibot's not super aggressive in the early game. It's letting the mines fill out, it's letting them slow move in, and it's choking you to death. Another option is something like just Nidusing behind their back. There's going to be mines there. You still have to clean those out, but will the mines out on the map respond and come home, or what? It's going to be hard for it to deal with an actual army once the shots have gone off.
Well, you got to think in this case too, when the Vikings come out, it's going to be harder to Nidus. But if no Mutas come out, then I don't think Antibot was going to build any Vikings, because that's when we saw the Viking production, was when Antibot recognized, oh, there's some, attacking air units. But for the Overlords and Overseers, not a problem. So Sprouch could definitely, against Antibot, maybe not against some other bots, but could definitely get away with some Nidus play. And yeah, I think that could have really helped out. But as it stands, I do believe Sprouch is going to fall here. The supply is dwindling, now double in total for Antibot pretty much. And Thors are starting to kill bases. Yeah, that should be it. Antibot is moving on in our lower bracket, round 1 here. And we'll have to wait and see who goes up against Antibot in 1 week's time when we do our upper brackets.
Indeed.
So that'll be good.
Indeed we shall. So he's just kind of, Muta's getting a rare kill on a Thor there, as the rest is just kind of starved out. He'll take out the main. I don't know if he's aware of the lower base quite yet. It will.
Oh, he'll find it.
Yeah, he'll find it eventually. He's everywhere. But I don't know.
Sprouch is last. Oh my God! Look at all the mines, and yeah, that's what you. Oh, there's the GG. But yeah, that's what you see is just that cost effectiveness. Every time a mine shoots, it's like, all right, time to go home, reload, repair, get ready for the next fight. And there was 50 mines by the end of that. I don't even know how many, but
oh yeah,
wow, what a good series.
Probably much more than that.
Yeah, more than that probably for sure. Yeah, it's a good strategy for a bot. That was well executed out of Antibot, really effective, and Sprouch put up a damned good fight, but it's just not enough, and we will see our first bot elimination as we toss Sprouch into the garbage heap to be hopefully resurrected next season. Yeah. If he can get into that top 16.
I definitely hope he comes back.
Oh yeah.
Again, I think it's an unfair display of what this bot can do. Yeah. And it would be nice to see it against Zerg and Protoss opponents, or even just less insane Terran opponents.
Yes. Well, do we even have a less insane? We've got Micro Machine and Gensi Bot, and
they're all good. They're all good. But Gensi Bot's not a crazy person. It's like it reacts like it plays like a Terran.
It's more passive. It's got a little army.
Yeah. 50 Ravens or something. So just more standard play, I guess.
Well, and the Antibot a little bit known for its unconventional, composition types, and that can a lot of the time win the game. Takes advantage of the other bot not knowing what's going on or anything like that. Anyway, that was a great series. Whew. All right, so we're done. Sprouch is out. Antibot moves on. Mm-hmm. We'll get our next series loaded up, ladies and gentlemen. We have got coming up next Blinkerbot versus Mad AI. So that is going to be a PvP. Always a lot of fun. So I think the Stalkers are going to play a big part in this for Blinkerbot.
You would think so.
You would think.
You would definitely think that would be the case. And
we also see a lot of Adepts, though, out of Blinkerbot. So
yeah, which is just another slower type of blinking, really, shading. It's just like predicted blinking.
Yeah.
Something. That's another one that's exploitative by a bot, is like really good adept control from a bot would be just really, really good, as they could target fire down individual workers. I think we actually saw, who was it the other day, was against a Terran, and it looked like the adepts were double shotting each worker, not realizing that they need to 3-shot at SCP. Every worker had 5 hit points left at the end, and I don't know whether that was unintentional, on purpose, what was happening there. But yeah, if you get them PvP in particular, that would be a lot of damage.
Yeah.
Here we get a replay of, this is the Widow Mine run by into the low ground Widow Mine.
Yeah, that was good.
Pretty good. At least they killed that mine. And there's the first flock of mutas not being allowed to snowball.
Yeah, that could have played a big part in this if those mutas maybe could have snowballed. But against this many mines, how can you? You just got to have really good, just try to not attack into the mines, obviously. But where? There's mines everywhere. There's nowhere to not attack into the mines. Anyway, well, this was a fun series. I liked it.
Yeah, me too.
Always good to see.
Me too. I wanted to know what this meant.
It's just. Did he throw a scan down maybe, or he was just looking?
I was looking on the mini map to see if he did, and I didn't see one.
Yeah, I didn't
know what he's talking about.
He's just looking around trying to find him. He's just letting you know, hey, I'm killing Zerd. It's fine. Don't worry about it. All right, we got our next game just about loaded up here. Before we dive in, though, everybody make sure you check out the links in the description below. If you want to check out our Crown Club, you can get some awesome behind-the-scenes content. You can get no ads in that content, and you also get some members-only episodes. We do a little post-bot show after each series or after each day of games. So definitely check all that out. But I do believe our next series is ready to go.
So
it says soon. So I'm going to go ahead and say, yeah, let's go ahead and hop into our next best of 3. This is a PvP here on Season 3 of ProBots 2020. Let's dive into it.
Bernie's Blinker Bot.
There's an image we got to update.
Yeah, see?
Madman's Mad AI.
All right, so what image are you going to give for Blinkerbot?
I was just trying to think. I think just literally I'd put the car part and just like a broken one.
All right.
Yeah, just a turn signal going off.
All right, so you've got 2 weeks, Blinkerbot. Get us a new image there. Bernie's Blinkerbot, right? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I kind of like the phrasing of one of these questions in chat. Is Thor mine a viable strategy for biological players? And now we have to make the distinction between bots and biological players.
Oh, geez, that's where we're at now, huh?
And I still think it is. He said in Gold League, yeah, but everything is a viable strategy.
Is it going to look like what we just saw? No, not at all.
No, but
it's viable.
Yeah, because that Gold League player also won't be able to split the lings like we just saw.
Yeah,
he's just going to run them into them. So yes, actually, it's a viable enough strategy that when you go the Mass Widow mine, you're not even going to actually need the Thors at the end. You will have just won.
Yeah.
Just do it.
All right. I'm looking for updates here. It looks like we do have. Wait, what is this? No, it's September 3rd, 20. That's forever ago. That can't be right. I guess neither of these bots got updated. Am I correct in assuming that? That's what I'm seeing. All right, so we're gonna see some, just what we saw a couple weeks ago out of these two. Then Blinkerbot going with maybe some adapts. Yeah, we don't have a whole lot on Mad AI other than it uses a neural network, and it goes long macro games are its weakness. So maybe that's going to be Blinkerbot's advantage.
Yeah, we'll see if Blinkerbot's aggressive. Mad AI has already called out there, as was highlighted, that it is a rush defense build order that's been chosen, largely after scouting the single base of Blinkerbot. So I think we saw in the first week that Mad AI kept calling that that's what it was going to be, and it was wrong. In this case, it's probably right. Unless Blinkerbot's planning to expand right now, it's going to be some sort of early attack.
It's hard to say. Mortal's coming out. Yeah, it looks like it might just be a bit of a one-base push. Is that a pylon on the low ground though? What is that on the?
No, those are Stalker and Ascent.
Oh, they're just taking it out. Okay, cool.
So
it's looking like some
will
base.
Blinkerbot also make a make a observer, because Mad AI's strategy here will be to get the Twilight Council, get DTs, and then throw about 3 DTs. There's an observer.
Okay, so that's good. You just kind of have to get detection in this day and age as a bot. Oh, and it's a good call, because right as after the observer starts, a Dark Shrine comes down.
Yeah.
So or did that come down right before? Did I just miss that?
No, it was it was right after. Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
So he's coming across. There are 2 cannons up at the high ground. There's going to be some units there. Mad AI last time, though, did chase onto the low ground.
Oh, I remember. Yeah, and got into the really bad concave position.
I like the hallucinated Archon.
Ooh,
that really helps tank a lot of damage.
That's going to drive this away completely, too. Stalkers want none of that Archon.
If that Archon did any damage, this thing would be dead. It does not, though.
Now, that'd be an interesting thing. Can the bot recognize, oh, this thing's not doing any damage to me? Is that something that can be kind of worked in? So you know it's a hallucination?
Yeah, I think it can.
I would imagine.
You just have to tell it that. But I think, I know that some of the triggers are based on how much damage a thing is doing to it, and you can pick that up. So probably it can distinguish between it, because it stopped to shoot it. And I don't think it would have done that too much if it was a real Archon, because it would have died. So
where's that observer?
Again, it's with him.
Good.
So DTs are coming out. They'll probably get picked off here as the observer catches up. Oh, unless they just run right by. And
wow, Stalkers don't care at all.
Okay.
Oh, that's good. The DTs recognize, oh, I'm getting hit. There's an observer there, so they do pull back. Well, they do morph into an Archon. This could be huge. It's going to absorb some of that immortal damage. Oh, but there's just no other defense out. Where's Mad AI's army? There's like nothing here.
It just went down individually.
There was like 1 Stalker, though. 2 cannons, a DT. Yeah, the Archon's dead. Oh, wait. Did the observer die?
It either died or left.
I think it died. It must have flown into the cannons. I was not paying close enough attention.
Either flow into the cannons or get caught in the spot damage. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. This DT is a hero right now. It is going to be able to kill off a Stalker and maybe some more here. It's got to get those Immortals. And with the cannons buying time, it might just be able to do that. Stalker's now going to be able to help buy a little bit of time for Mad AI. This is 1 base versus 1 base at the moment. But Blinkerbot is expanding behind this, so Mad AI's got to make a big bust out of here.
Yeah, 3 Immortals is really tough to get at. If the DT wasn't here, this is just over. But the DT's putting in work, and he's so close to getting the Zealot charge. If he can get the Zealot charge finished and get like 3 or 4 of those out, he can turn the tide on this and just shut it down. The cannons alone may be enough to do it here.
Oh, they've been MVPs. Yeah. Absolutely. And actually, the Immortal dies too. The Observer's coming here. Oh, no, it's going to turn around and go home and realizes the fight is lost and leaves those Stalkers defend for themselves. Mad AI with the clutch DT play. He's barely hanging on here. But yeah, with Blinkerbot at 2 bases, now Mad AI is really going to start to fall behind. And only 1.5 cannons stand. Will it be enough, Endersword, to hold the line?
I mean, I think he held the line. Blinkerbot is going into something else. So he's going to do another thing, another type of attack. The question is, will Mad AI, where are you going from here? So is this going to be an Archon push in off 1 base with very little, like he lost a number of workers in that too. They actually just kind of ran down the ramp. It's not that he got into his base, but they just died. He lost the gateways up front as well, and I don't know if he's rebuilding those. So I think this attack is going to be blunted a little bit.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And with Blink coming out, too, we've seen these Stalkers in action.
Yeah.
In equal numbers, they're going to be able to deal with just about anything Mad AI can throw at him. And there's no real hard hitters here for Mad AI. There's some Stalkers, and, yeah, a DT or an Archon against, like, 5 or 6 Stalkers. They're going to be able to kite that Archon for days.
Yeah, exactly. He really needs, like, a good wave of the Zealots in front of everything, but I think he just didn't... just didn't rebuild the gateways.
What are you doing, Blinkerbot? He's a little out of position trying to defend the 3rd against nothing. Okay, there. He finally comes back down to defend the natural. And I think with superior Stalker numbers. Yeah. Blinkerbot has got this one in the bag.
Yeah.
By the looks of it. Double the worker supply. Double the army supply as well. A 3rd base is even on the way, and Mad AI is just sitting on 1. So Bernie's Blinkerbot is looking in a good spot here on Everdream. Oh, yeah, very good spot.
Yeah, just commanding here. And I don't know, like Mad AI did choose the right defense this time, basically, which is that it was a rush defend of sorts.
Yeah, it worked for the first defense.
Yeah, but then he needed to do something on the other side of it, and that's where he wasn't really able to. Obviously.
I don't like these commits in either. Yeah. Mad AI is like, ooh, the natural's open, but then stalkers come from both north and south and just sandwich and kill every single stalker of Mad AI. So, yeah, just with the numbers as it is, there's just no way Mad AI is going to be able to come back on one base. He can't even fight this group of stalkers. Like,
that's it. And I mean, and forget one base. There's no way he can come back on one gateway. And that's
yeah, he's got one gateway. Yeah,
maybe he's got 2 now. Okay, he rebuilt one. But for the longest time there, he was just warping in a single zealot at a time.
Yeah. Now some good stalker play though. Yeah, in PvP especially, I think stalker play can be so effective with these bots against immortals, against whatever. In this case, it was against DT and Archon, and the DTs did a little bit more than they probably should have due to some observers being a little bit negligent. I think. Being a little bit too bold and flying into cannons, or maybe they were just in detection range and got picked off by stalkers or something. I didn't see exactly what, but either way, as it is, Mad AI is about to take the killing blow, I believe. There is an observer to pick off that first DT, and now there's just nothing left.
Yeah, so they should be able to charge up here. We'll go after these buildings first, but there's enough here to, I think, absorb it all.
Oh, yeah, for sure. He can keep fighting. He'll be able to kill that off, and then once he gets to the cannons, then he will be in a good spot. So Blinkerbot going to take game number 1 on Everdream in a pretty quick fashion, 10 minutes in. Definitely a little quicker than our last series, but well executed. I think Mad AI needs to at least get a second base behind that defense. Once you defend, you instantly, I think, got to get that second base up, because Blinkerbot was already mining from his second by the time he went home after that attack. So
yeah. I think the other thing that Mad AI, I think, needs to adapt to a little is the idea. There comes a DT trying to save the day. Needs to adapt to a little. It's making the right call to do like the rush defense, but the way it's building that with like the walled off ramp and the cannons way back and the shield battery way the fuck back is probably not the way to go with it, because they're not, particularly since your army runs down the ramp. The cannons are so far back that they're only able to actually participate when something comes up. Whereas if you built it, say, on the corner there or a little more forward, didn't block with the buildings, some stuff like that, it may work out better. But either way. So we'll clean everything up, and there is game 1. There
it is.
A Tempest came at the end to just shoot once. There were carriers on the way too.
They were, yeah. That's solid. Blinkerbot really good at getting into that kind of late game setup. Had 6-7 bases, whatever it was there, and some good upgrades and just phenomenal micro. So Blinkerbot looking very strong, and I think is at least good. If this continues, it's going to move on in this lower bracket and give us a really good show as the season goes on. So yeah.
For sure. I think it'll come down here again to what the build order call is by Mad AI. Does Blinkerbot do the same thing? Does Mad AI kind of turtle again? Still very subject to what happens to the DT, what happens to an observer. If an observer had lived, then that first push might just win the game.
Yeah.
If a DT actually gets further across the map, into, like we saw in one of the games from last week, when the DTs actually get to the natural, they try and split, go into the main and natural, but they died before that could actually be accomplished. But that's what it's trying to do. If it can get that done, then again, you can be in a very different situation.
Yeah, for sure. All right, well, it looks like we got a little bit of a wait here for our next game while they get that working. Let's go ahead and talk about what we've got coming up in the future. This is, again, double elimination, 7-week little tournament here, and then that next week will be our finals. So definitely start getting excited for that because it'll be here quicker than you all think. And we'll have our humans versus bots AI show match. And hopefully we can, I don't know, maybe make it a little more exciting this year. And these bots are already making it more exciting. There's some good competitors that I think are going to do really well against the human team this year.
Yeah, I definitely think so. They're getting a lot better. I mean, we could probably even pick it. We usually end up going with like the top 4, which makes a lot of sense. It may make sense to cherry pick some of the ones that we think would be the best anti-human. Yeah. And something like, say, that mass widow mine attack.
That would be fun.
It would be interesting to get that against a human player and see what happens. So, yeah, we'll try and get that going yet again, and we'll probably drag in someone like Jake or No Regret or Massa or somebody again to.
Let's get TLO this year. Yeah, is he in Canada, right? Or is he?
He's pretty near here. Yeah, we could ask him.
That'd be sweet.
See if his semi-retired Shopify stuff is still on point.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's the one. He's probably the best one because he's the one that's played Alpha Star. For that, right? So yeah, I think he'd have a unique perspective.
Yeah, maybe be able to give us a nice look at how our bots compare to something like Alpha Star. Yeah. I'm impressed by our bots. I'm seeing them do some stuff similar. Even the Blink Stalker micro was similar to Alpha Star, and these bots are just getting so good. It's awesome to see.
Indeed.
All right. Well, we got our next match, our next game coming up. This is a best of 3 between these two. Thank you for your patience, everybody, while we get that loaded up. And what are your predictions, Endersword? Do you think that we're going to be able to see an ace match, or are we just going to see a little bit of a stomp here?
I think it's down to, does Blinkerbot do the same thing? If Blinkerbot does the same build order, then Mad AI is going to do the same build order, and I think it will lose in the same way. If Blinkerbot does something different, then Mad AI will do something different, and we've got a whole different game. Yeah. So, but I think Blinkerbot's micro is just a lot better in general. Like the stalker control, Mad AI doesn't seem to really have an answer for that. It gets charged, which can negate some of that, but unless you have an overwhelming number of the zealots, it doesn't. It's not going to work.
All right. Well, let's see what happens as we dive into game number 2 here. Let's hit it. I'll ask you why later.
Sure.
Bernie's Blinkerbot. Madman's Mad AI.
Okay, yeah, I keep forgetting both these bots because it doesn't say on Mad AI's notes here, but both are using the Sharpie framework, right?
Yeah, and I think
what I'm being told.
I think it's down to the unit composition. If they both had a stalker on stalker fight, then yeah, it might look like really the same. But I think it's the fact that Mad AI was going into the Zealot, DT, Archon, whatever, that it ends up just kind of getting outnumbered, even though it's theoretically doing the same stuff. Or as we saw kind of towards the end of that last game, he had the stalkers that were trying to micro, but they were already surrounded. So it didn't really help him that much.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. Maybe the micro will be in Mad AI's favor this time. I do really like the hallucination as well. I would love to see that with some attacks. I really want to build a bot that does just like mass hallucinated zealot into like carry or something. Mm-hmm. I think hallucinations are very underutilized in StarCraft personally.
Definitely. It's one of the most fun abilities, and it's one of the most AI confusing, not so much necessarily these AIs, but like computer AI or like automatic actions of even a human player. When they say like attack forward, it's going to jump on stuff like that and get confused by it. And there is a certain degree. Okay, this will be a different build order. That's good. So it's gotten enough different that it's calling a 2 base play. So that is good. Yeah, what I was gonna say is often you can use the logic of what the units want to do against them, and we actually see that. Have you ever played like the Desert Strike or what direct?
Oh yeah, direct strike. Now, yeah, it used to be Desert Strike. Yeah.
Yeah, one of the tactics that you could always use in it is your opponent ultimately needs to get detection. You can make a bunch of sentries that make a bunch of hallucinated units that essentially form a wall.
They do Archons is the go-to in the game.
Yeah, so they will do that, but if you do that right up front, the computer will detect that those are hallucinations and not attack them. But now they're physically blocking everything. So it will have to go around it's just really disruptive. So you could use that type of logic to say block a ramp or just kind of swarm in front of your army and create a mess.
Yeah. Because even hallucinated Archons are relatively tanky, especially early game. Yeah. Obviously, they've got half the health and shields there, but still pretty tanky.
Yeah, and whether they attack them or try and get around them, if you did that in front of your army and there's a bunch of lings, they either attack it or they try and go around everything, and it just creates a huge moving force field. So it's good either way. And you can even get like really weird, and like a sentry will hallucinate 4 probes if you feel like it. So you could just hit them with like 40 probes.
Can you hallucinate? I don't think you can hallucinate workers.
I think you can. Maybe I'm wrong in that one. It could do something a lot.
It can do any attacking unit. I think. I know there even are some exceptions. Like I don't think you can hallucinate.
Carrier.
Carrier you can't. There's a few things you can't. But anyway, here we go. A little bit of action here. The Immortal is gonna come dominate this fight right now. Zealot kind of off by itself. I had no idea what it was doing on that part of the map, but Wounded Stalker and a Sentry are just not going to be enough to hold this. One more Zealot coming in, but it's not in time to save the ranged units, and Blinkerbot is just taking a dominant stance here. I guess maybe the early base was not the best choice on this matchup.
Yeah, we'll pull the workers to come after this. There is an Immortal here that will help out, but there's not really enough to support him. Although you could take out that one Immortal.
Wait, how did that Stalker come from the right-hand side?
I don't know where the hell that one was.
Are they warping in on the low ground or something from the high ground? What's happening?
It's possible. I don't know if it was just out there from scouting. The Immortal there surviving is the big deal. It almost looked like it could take that out, and then you might have a fighting chance, but now it's just going to...
Okay, yeah, these units are warping in on the low ground from those pylons, yeah. Okay, I was like, how are they getting back there? Oh my goodness. Yeah, that Immortal's just king right now. Now there's 2.
There's nothing even really being made. Yeah, so he's going to warp in individual Stalkers, and that'll die. He's not making another Immortal or anything. Doesn't have the minerals to support it. Actually, ended up with a lot of gas here that he now can really use. And I looked it up. So it can they can hallucinate 4 probes.
Oh, okay. You can do probes.
Yeah, you can do 4 at a time. You could do 2 Zealots or 2 Stalkers or 2 Adepts or 2 High Templar, an Immortal, an Archon, a Void Ray, a Phoenix, an Oracle,
Colossus.
Prism, Colossus, and Disruptor. I didn't know.
Okay.
I hallucinate. I mean, because I guess they had to add that later. That's probably the only Oracle too. Oracle and Disruptor would be the only Wings of Liberty unit that ain't. But a Disruptor would be pretty scary.
Yeah. Well, does it do the shot still? Can it do the hallucinated?
It doesn't.
I've honestly never seen a hallucinated Disruptor in my life. No, which is I need to change that.
I didn't think you could do that. If you had asked me, could you do that? I would say, what? No, because they had to go out of their way to add that. Mm-hmm. So they decided to, apparently, at some point. It seems like Tempest should be on there then. I understand why not Carrier. That's too complex. I understand, obviously, why not Warp Prism. But
couldn't you do hallucinated Carriers in Brood War, though? Or am I making that up?
Maybe.
No. I think I'm making that up. Anyway.
It would be...
I'm making that up.
The Interceptors would be too hard. It would just be an empty thing. But
I don't see it. You just make the unit, but make it all hallucinate. Anyway, that was it for our second series of the night. Matt AI will get scrapped, and Blinkerbot will be moving on to our next round in the lower bracket. So well done out of our two bots. Moving on. What do we got? Blinkerbot and Antibot so far. Moving on. The bots are doing good.
Pretty good.
All right. Well, that'll be it for our first round. We do have 2 more best of 3s, so don't you go anywhere. We are not done yet. We are going to do a quick little break, but before we do that, we need to take a look at our bracket and do a member shout out. And here is our lower bracket. So we've got Fidelina versus Tyr. I think everybody should be excited for that one coming up after the break. And even our last one, all these matches we should be excited for. 3-Way Lover versus Doogie Howitzer is going to be, I think, another explosive match. So, yeah. Well, what are your thoughts on any of these here? Who do you think is going to take it? I think it's going to be Tyr and 3-Way Lover.
I definitely agree on the 3-Way Lover. I want to say Tyr, but I don't know that I've seen enough of Fidelina yet to count it out, but
okay.
I think my heart's with Tyr.
Well, and we'll take a look at the updates. If these bots did get any updates, we'll tell you all about that in our next series. But let's go ahead and do one more member shout out before we go to break. Crown Club, you guys are the best. Savelas, that is one of our bot authors. Thank you so much for being a part of that, Crown Club. If you want to get some exclusive behind-the-scene content like Savelas and check out our post-bot show, make sure you check out the links in the description below for our Crown Club membership. It goes a long way to help future seasons of ProBots and other things here on ESGEM. So definitely check that out. And also check out our YouTube membership. We are exclusively on YouTube now. And you can now use emotes in both the chat, in the comments, all sorts of places. And if you check out our Discord as well, we've got some emotes there. I love our new Scuffed Drek emote. That is a lot of fun. If you got to go and spam it in the chat now. But yeah, you can get access to the Discord with that YouTube membership. So definitely check out all that below. You can even download a bot to play against and a bot to even start making your own. We've got a ton of resources available for you guys. And we'll talk a little bit after the break too about the AI Arena ladder. That is where these bots all came from. It's the top 12 plus the 4 from last season all moved on. I believe they just did their second season or so, right? On the AI Arena. Sounds right. Yeah. So we'll definitely talk a little bit more about that after the break. But thank you all for being here. This is, again, day 3, the lower bracket, round 1 here on ES Champ in season 3 of 2020. And we will see you all in just a few minutes for our next and last 2 best of 3s of the night. We saw a lot of the same thing, right? Just the same 3 games, pretty much same idea, same build, but each one really kind of went in a different direction, which was really cool to see.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, here we go.
So here's this one.
Oh, okay, it is researching. Oh my God, was Ketrock right?
Yeah.
Mind blown.
We'll line up about around that time.
No way. Yeah, I wish we had the little timer on the right-hand side here. Oh my God, that's insane. Oh yeah, I think you're totally right. It was because of HiSec. That's why. Just the timing of it finished exactly almost as the answer. It was right before.
Did it detect HiSec and that's why I moved back?
Oh, I wonder.
I didn't even know that was possible in the API.
Man, this whole scenario just brought up so many questions.
Yeah, I think because Micro Machine detects it, but I don't know if it's in a roundabout way or something, some sort of hacky.
Yeah, it's a hacky way.
Yeah.
Well, it's because it just started firing. Maybe can it just register? Oh, it just started firing, so I got to move because it was it fired and then it moved. But can't you see the projectile?
Nope.
No? Oh no, you can't. Oh.
You can see damage done to your own unit. So with that, you can kind of figure it out, maybe.
Yeah, but it started moving right before it took the missile hit because it was a fired missile, unsieged, and then took the missile hit and then
coincidence, maybe.
Yeah. Weird. Anyway, this was a great best of 3, our first ace match of the season. Very cool to see.
Another very surprising result. Like if you watch the ladder, Fidelina always beats Benbot BC on the ladder. At least I think he does. So I think if they play like 20 games, Fidelina happens to win 18.
Yeah.
But we just got those 2 games where Benbot VC won.
How much do you think the map played into that?
I think it was the high ground siege tank both times, right? That just wiped out
You
the
think
army.
that was what changed the?
Yeah, I'd
battle?
say 100%.
In combination with the loss to Viking from Fidelina.
You're right. He lost the high.
He lost air control, and then he had a tank he couldn't see or kill.
Gotcha. So you were going to say something, Endersword?
Yeah, it's just that. Yeah, the map probably 100%, but it's also such small things that Fidelina could add in to completely correct this loss. Especially the one on the third map is just add in upgrades, and he wins this game.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, lack of upgrades.
Yeah, like he was surrounding battle cruisers with 0 upgrades against 3 armor. Of course, you're gonna.
We saw a lot of the same thing, right? Just the same 3 games, pretty much same idea, same build, but each one really kind of went in a different direction, which was really cool to see.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, here we go.
So here's this one.
Oh, okay, it is researching. Oh my God, was Ketrock right?
Yeah.
Mind blown.
We'll line up about around that time.
No way. Yeah, I wish we had the little timer on the right-hand side here. Oh my God, that's insane. Oh yeah, I think you're totally right. It was because of high sec. That's why just the timing of it finished exactly almost as it was right before.
Did it detect high sec, and that's why I moved back?
Oh, I wonder.
I didn't even know that was possible on the API.
Man,
I didn't
this
think
whole scenario just brought up so many questions.
Yeah, I think because Macro Machine detects it, but I don't know if it's in a roundabout way or something, some sort of hacky.
Yeah, it's a hacky way.
Yeah.
Oh, it's because it just started firing. Maybe can it just register? Oh, it just started firing, so it got to move because it was
when a unit
fired and then it moved. But can't you see the projectile?
Nope.
No? Oh no, you can't. Oh.
You can see damage done to your own unit. So with that, you can kind of figure it out, maybe.
Yeah, but it started moving right before it took the missile hit because it was fired missile, unsieged, and then took the missile hit and then
coincidence maybe. Who knows?
Weird. Anyway, this was a great best of 3, our first ace match of the season. Very cool to see.
Another very surprising result. Like if you watch the ladder, Fidelina always beats Benbot BC on the ladder. At least I think he does. So I think if they play like 20 games, Fidelina happens to win 18.
Yeah.
But we just got those 2 games where Benbot VC won.
How much do you think the map played into that?
I think it was the high ground siege tank both times, right? That just wiped out
you
the
think
army.
That was what changed the
I'd say 100%.
In combination with the loss to Viking from Fidelina.
You're right. He lost the high.
He lost air control, and then he had a tank he couldn't see or kill.
Gotcha. So you were going to say something, Endersword?
Yeah, it's just that. Yeah, the map probably 100%, but it's also such small things that Fidelina could add in to completely correct this loss. Especially the one on the third map is just add in upgrades, and he wins this game.
Mm-hmm.
So,
lack of upgrades.
He was surrounding battle.
Welcome back, everybody, to ProBots. It is time for our next and last 2 best of 3s of the night. Again, big shout out to our Crown Club and to everybody hanging out. Thank you so much for being here. This is day 3 here on ProBots, and we've already had some awesome best of 3s, and we've got 2 more coming your way, and we're going to have 2 more bots get eliminated tonight. Which is always sad, but always exciting to see, these bots move on and, how they're going to advance and stuff. But yeah, here's our last 2 matchups, Fidelina versus Tyr. So you think you're thinking Fidelina?
No, I think
do you think
Tyr? I just can't. I would be less confident about it. I wouldn't put money on it, but my heart is on the line.
And you love to gamble, from what I've gathered.
I will put money on basically anything. But this I would not bet on.
Oh, okay. So this should be a good match then, based on that. All right. Well, let's go ahead and hopefully we have our first game ready. Actually, right before we do that, just said before the break, if you weren't aware, we've got some awesome emotes in the YouTube that you can use in the comment section now, as well as in the chat. So definitely check that out if that's your thing. And also check out our Crown Club membership. You're going to get some exclusive behind-the-scenes content, some post-bots access, which is a lot of fun. We talk about the day's games and, give a little bit more in-depth analysis, kind of give some more predictions, that kind of thing. So it's a lot of fun. If you like some extra ProBots content, definitely worth checking out. All right, well, let's go ahead, and I believe we're ready to hop into our next best of 3, Fidelina versus Tyr. Let's make it happen.
Fidelina. Tears. Tyr.
Does Tyr cry? Is that what we're Tears? Tyr?
Mm.
Is it referencing his tears?
He's
not Terran, so.
It's a good pun.
All right, we're here on Eternal Empire for a little PvT, a nice round set of games tonight. Nice little diversity.
Yes, it's all about
I like
diversity.
Yeah.
This one should be good. You have my
Oh,
nice. Has he said that? I don't know if I've seen him say that one before.
I have never seen him say that. So, well, Fidelina, you must have done something right.
Yeah.
Their earned Tyr's respect is
we're getting
something
more,
special.
Getting more evolved Thanos quotes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm excited to see. I think Tyr is going to set the pace of the game, just kind of based on one of its many, many, many builds that it has under its belt. Are we going to see some cheese? Are we going to see defensive backer game? We don't know. It's always kind of a grab bag with Tyr, it feels like. What do you think? What do you think is going to happen?
It could be literally like it is, like you said, the entire gambit. It could be. It obviously will not be a pro brush anymore. But
that's ruled out.
Everything from pro brush to Vast Tempest.
Okay, there's still 42 things to choose from. So yeah.
So
what are we looking at? What's
basically are these?
What are those? It's little plant nubbins. I don't know.
So
are they fruit or no? It just looks like the appendages. What are we looking at? I don't
know.
I don't get it.
I don't know.
Are they supposed to look like something? Like
Maybe.
something inappropriate? I don't.
Probably. Usually when people point things out, it's like
it looks like a dick or something. Yeah,
it's naughty. Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll see what happens here. We did, I believe, did we have some updates? Yeah. So Tyr added a specialized one base timing. So that is what we're going to see, I think.
All right.
Against Fidelina specifically. So
certainly looks like it's shaping up that way. Although is that just a pro boat front? Yeah, just zealots. Okay, so yeah.
Oh, I love what happens too if this doesn't work. I'm not going to say anything until next game.
Nice.
But we'll see what happens. Yeah, how this game unfolds will kind of determine what happens in game 2.
Yeah,
so
this will be interesting. Yeah, so zealot charge timing can be really, really strong against a one basing Terran. Though can sometimes be very hard to get up there and make this work. Like the charge slots are not the most effective thing up a ramp.
Yeah,
but he's not walled it off, so that certainly helps. He's just kind of built in base there.
Yeah. No, it's looking good so far. Yeah, I'm glad Fidelina hasn't really expanded, honestly, because Tyr is going to be putting on some very heavy aggression with that charge and Warp Gate about to finish up. So I guess it's going to come up to Fidelina. Will we see a good defense? We've seen the tanks last week. We saw the tanks just be absolute heroes. I'm trying to remember which game it was.
That was against.
Was it 2 weeks ago?
Was it 2 weeks ago? Again,
I think it was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I want to say someone used them against Blinkerbot too, but maybe.
Oh yeah, just the tank positioning was so good, and if we can see a good tank positioning here out of Fidelina, Tyr's going to have a hard time pushing up with just gateway units, and that really does feel like this is what it is just a little 2-gate attack, or I'm sorry, 3-gate attack, 3rd gate finishing up there.
I'm a little. The charge is about to finish, and given that he said like this is meant to be a timing, I kind of want to see these zealots at the natural already, because this is the timing.
Yeah, right now as charge finishes. Yeah,
if this army hit right now, it would wipe this.
God, yeah, absolutely. Tanks wouldn't stand a chance, but well, all right. Well, we'll see. The Cloak Banshee coming out is going to change this drastically.
Absolutely.
Is there even a Robo Bay or a Robo facility?
No.
No, there is not. Oh, man, this Cloak Banshee is going to wreck Tyr's face. Tyr, you're waiting too long. Go!
I think it's right on the right path that this was the timing, and he just has gone past that timing window. That window is shutting.
every second he wastes is just worse and worse for Tyr, I fear. I guess he's waiting for Blink. He wants to get just the ultimate Zealot Stalker composition. Oh, but he needed to attack before Cloak.
Yeah, even then, even if he's waiting for Blink, it's already past the time to move.
2 more Banshees about to finish Endersword.
Yeah, and there's no forward pylon. There needs to be like a forward pylon and a forward gateway to maintain it. There go the Banshees.
I think Tyr might lose.
He might. It may just come down to a total base race. Actually, if he catches the Fidelina army out on the map, then it could just turn into a total base race.
Yeah, no, and well, so we haven't really talked about Fidelina's updates. Obviously, a few bug fixes, some air spotting for the tanks, some marine micro, some leapfrogging in the tanks. Added a new strategy for Banshee play, and here we're about to see it come into full action. Cloak is activated, and there is nothing that Tyr can do. The Stalkers are all going to go down, and then what are the Zealots going to do? I guess maybe the Zealots could counter and force some kind of weird base raid. That's a lot of Zealots.
It is.
And not a huge ground force.
He will catch this army completely flat-footed.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He might be able to force something weird here.
Yeah, he has to just go across and try and win the game with these Zealot pack.
Yeah, oh yeah.
This is dragging the Banshees home. If Tyr responded in any way to make a... No, he's just going to expand.
Cloak Banshees, I'll get a base.
That's what you do.
That's what you do.
Now there's so many Banshees, and the fact that they are coming home, even though that's the ideal situation, like this would buy perfect amount of time to get the Robo up. But if he's not going to...
Doesn't look like it, yeah.
Yeah, then this is all kind of for naught. But he will kill like a lot of workers here.
Yeah, well, he's going to gut the economy. That's good.
He could end up killing them all. But if he doesn't get detection, then it's all for nothing.
Even if he does, he's only building like a couple Stalkers at a time. There's 5 Banshees out in Endersword. Yeah. They're going to wreck anything that even if Tyr did have detection, they're just going to go across and wreck face now. So
yeah, he also hasn't really
I think he's got
added units. He's just kind of in this attack mode. So this is a shame because the timing window is there. He could have crushed. He did crush the army.
He pushed all the way in and killed the economy.
Yeah.
3 workers. Fidelina has 3 workers, Endersword. Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, it's unfortunate. Tyr, it really almost felt like Tyr did have the right response, but not quite.
Yeah, didn't pull the trigger at the right time.
Well, and we've talked about the detection. You just kind of have to get detection every game almost. It just as a precautionary measure.
Yeah.
And here especially, the Stalkers aren't going to stand a chance. They get a couple shots, and that is going to do it. Fidelina will take game 1. So we are going to see some interesting shenanigans, I think, out of Tyr in our next game here.
Yeah.
So everybody get hyped for that. Yeah, so we'll see. I don't think Tyr's out of it just yet. Obviously, Tyr has been one of our strongest competitors season after season. Constantly makes it into that Final Four.
Yeah.
So I am not going to count him out just yet here. I've got a little bit of hope for Tyr still.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the one thing when you deal with Tyr is each game is its own game. The thing that happened the game before is no indicator at all of the thing that happens later. And I think this may be a case of over-engineering, where Tyr in a general game knows to make detection and how it works and whatever. So I think this was so scripted for particular timing that he maybe cut some of that stuff out, that it didn't respond in ways that it usually would.
Yeah.
So,
well, and he must have been expecting something different, because that was a specialized one base timing for Fidelina specifically.
Yeah.
So there must have been, maybe Tyr thought Fidelina wasn't going to get the Banshees, and obviously not, because Banshees were new this week out of Fidelina. So just unfortunately not able to quite predict what Fidelina was going to throw at him this time.
Yeah, for sure.
It's good though.
Yeah, and it even almost worked. Just had he had the ability, like the Banshees chased the Zealots all the way home.
Yeah, all the way.
Had you had any response of any kind, like, then it would have worked. Like, whether it was cannons or detection or like whatever.
I think the best response would have been get a Stargate up. Yeah. And they get one Phoenix.
Phoenix wins. A Phoenix wins the game. Yeah.
Well, but then again, there's Cloak though. So how do you detect it while there's
you just wait. Like the Banshees.
Well, you lose all your workers while you wait, right?
That's fine. He lost it too.
Yeah, that's true. He killed all the SCVs, so
They both. It's fine.
Yeah, no, there's definitely a handful of ways you could deal with that, but Tyr not able to pull it through. And Fidelina, and I think this is why people were talking about Fidelina so much. Fidelina really just kind of swept up that ladder and really got itself into a really dominant spot and impressed a lot of people. And we're seeing that now. Beating Tyr is not easy. In any sense, even if Tyr does a weird build, a specialized build like this, that it's just kind of a build order loss almost. Tyr is still a very strong bot, and we're going to see in game number 2 if Tyr can bring it back with something special. Let's go ahead and hop into that game right now.
Fidelina. Tears. Tyr.
All right, Fidelina didn't have an image, right?
Right.
Yeah, so Fidelina, get on that. Let's see an image. And here it is, Tyr's special. It's already here. It's happening there, Sword. Take it away.
He's going to tickle. He's going to tickle away. Let's see how effective this is. The SCV's kind of doing a weird response to this. They are...
What is happening?
Okay, they're just moving.
Oh, he just full on evacuates. What is going on?
Oh, the
Tyr
recall.
What?
I love it. I love it. So he didn't. All right, whatever.
What just happened?
Did he even kill me? Like, there's so many that
he killed one, I think.
Yeah, there's so many that are super damaged. He could go die for one.
Yeah, he killed him. He killed him.
Right, well, that's fine. If this was just a play to like, this is like this is Grandmaster chess play. This that refinery no longer matters, so it's in the wrong place.
Watch him still try to mine from it. That'd be hilarious.
He's now moved him down to a more vulnerable low ground position.
Was it worth it?
I think so. If you told me...
I don't think it wasn't.
Yeah, like if you told me at the beginning of the game, you can worker rush your opponent, lose none of the workers, recall all yours back, and end up at the end of the day 17-16, but the Terran is now on the low ground. Yeah, of course I'm going to take that trade.
Yeah, because now Terran is super exposed down here. I got to say, though, I like the response, as weird as it was. Kind of unnecessary, but not entirely, because had he stayed and fought, Tyr, I think, might have taken a better fight. Yeah. A lot of the SCVs are very damaged here, but I liked it. I thought it was an interesting response. Forced Tyr just to go home, and in the end, it does relatively even things out, as opposed to, like you said, the exposed base. Other than that, we're pretty much just as it would have been as a normal game, right?
Yeah. Well, and it was almost cool enough that I'm like, did they just talk to each other before? Yeah. Like, what would be cool? You worker rush me, and then I'll ignore you, and then you recall back, and I'll float to the low ground. Like,
oh goodness!
Like it's in that thing of like, and then we're going to be even anyway, so we'll just play fair from there.
It does almost feel like that. No, obviously these guys are, each week kind of strategizing, trying to think of, okay, what is my opponent going to do? I can do some updates to try to target him. Tyr has obviously done some specific things to try to target Fidelina. I wonder if the same is true. Fidelina maybe expected something like that out of Tyr, because we've seen that a handful of times, that worker rush, the little tickle rush there. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Again, these bots have played each other a bunch, and so yeah, they do know. Like, roughly, obviously this has happened. Like, clearly Tyr worker rushed once, Fidelina programmed in a defense. Then once Tyr saw the defense, he programmed in the recall. Yeah, that's what happened, probably. Yeah. So, yeah. And
I feel like it's almost becoming Tyr's signature move, to that worker rush but it's still hard to predict it, because you don't know if he's going to open with it. You don't know if he's going to do it in game 3. Yeah. It's still very unpredictable, even though you can kind of expect Tyr's going to do something weird.
And slightly different. like look at the damage on the SCVs. Like slightly different control in the worker rush could have gotten you like 6 kills or something. Like it could work. Even just a slightly different map or something could make that work.
Stalker, what do you do?
Yeah. He's dying.
Resigned to his fate, I guess. I love the SCV repair. Thank you so much, every Terran. I think all our Terrans this season are doing it, using repair just to its absolute maximum potential, and I love it.
So the Stalker is going to continue to go out and poke at this position. It's like he's buying time for the Stargate to kick in, but we're going to have like this 1 base, 2 Stargate play. And Tyr either has to rely on Fidelina being really patient right now or something, because there's a Liberator coming out. We have not started anything out of the Stargates. There's a Void Ray, but that's
Tyr doing?
In order for this to be anything, he's kind of got to get a fleet beacon and start Tempest or something, but does he have time to do this? Luckily, Fidelina is not in a hurry. It's not moving out. It's also not expanded. Let's see if a Void Ray should be able to deal with the Liberator, so I don't think that's a big issue.
I like how he's still building the supplies in the main.
Yeah.
This is definitely interesting. The Void obviously going to be very good against that Liberator, against the tanks. It's just all about the Marines, and I really don't like how these Stalkers are just going in and they're just set to attack till they die. And I think we kind of do see that out of Tyr. Yeah. He gets his attack together, he's got his build order, and then he just pulls the trigger. It either works or it doesn't. And unfortunately, it's just one Stalker at a time this time.
But he is keeping the Void Rays back. So
that's good.
I think this might be, while I think you could do this cheaper, I think this might be calculated as a stay-at-home play.
Yeah.
Like him doing this enough, maybe.
Oh, yeah, he's hiding them.
Yeah, he's keeping them back. Like
he's gonna
so the fact that he's controlling them separate, it does make it feel like this Stalker push is to keep him from coming across the map. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we'll kind of see.
That makes sense too. Ketrok giving the explanation of he's supposed to mass voids after a Stalker, but he keeps losing the Stalker. He keeps remaking the Stalker.
Yeah, well, in the Stalker, unfortunately, it's just like, okay, attack the first thing I see and then just die.
The other thing that could be playing into this, which I didn't think of, is what if the Stalker isn't meant to attack the base, but the base isn't where it's supposed to be?
Oh, yeah, because the base was down.
He could easily be going out to just...
Well, no, but he was attacking, even when he was engaging the army, his Stalker was just like, okay, I'm going to stand here and attack and die, There was just nothing, so I don't know. That's a good point, though.
Yeah, so he does see things, and he's just kind of donating these. Okay, now 2 Void Rays are coming in. This obviously, shouldn't be.
Oh, there's so many Marines. Yeah, these Voids aren't going to be doing anything. Oh, no, pull away! There's just no retreat commands for Tyr's units, unfortunately, and Fidelina is just going to take full advantage of this. I really do think Tyr's just kind of serving him up on a silver platter.
Yeah, I don't know what's
just donating things. Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, not sure what's happening here at all. Tyr unable to keep up with the gas to produce. He's floating minerals like crazy. Could easily be expanding. Could easily be adding more gateways.
Yeah, look at the army.
We'll push him. There's just nothing.
There's 1 Void. Yeah, it's not going to be enough. Once these the Marines alone could kill this. So
yeah, and there's one kind of floating in the back there too.
Yeah, it's still there.
Had he saved to the 5 Void Rays, he could actually have.
Yeah, right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe could have made something happen.
Right now, this is actually even as it is, he's actually going to kill some of the Marines. They're just not good at dealing with that stuff, but yeah. Oh well.
Wow. Well, in what I think to be a bit of a surprise upset, Fidelina, obviously everyone's been talking about how strong this bot is, but Tyr going out in week 2 or week 3, our first lower round bracket, that's just insane.
Yeah, definitely not something we would have predicted at the start of this season at all.
Not at all, yeah. I mean, definitely, it was going to be a hard match anyway, but this just really did seem one-sided. Yeah, some people point out maybe Tyr got a little bit bugged there or something.
Because, it's not normal. It's clear what it was attempting to do, and it didn't do it.
It just couldn't do it right, yeah. Well, a little unfortunate, but Tyr will get knocked out in the scrap pile with you, and we'll probably see Tyr again next season. I think we see Tyr every single season, so
he'll come back. It's more, and I think it did get a little too cute in the first game. It clearly tried to hit a very specific thing, and I think in trying to be too specific, it lost some of the generalities that would have kept it alive. It lost the ability to adapt, and it also it went for a later timing window than was necessary. It could have won with the first timing window of the Zealot charge, but there we go.
Well, good job, though. Fidelina, you are moving on in our lower bracket. Well earned as well. Some phenomenal play. I'm really excited to see how that's going to pan out in the next round that you are in.
Yeah.
So, let's go ahead and we'll get our next best of 3 up and ready here.
And I think this next one requires explanation. So three-way lover is a nice creative bot that is at least along the lines of the other bots that we have. It's an eccentric one. It does some cool stuff. It expands to the third, first, etc. Doogie Howitzer is nothing like any of the other bots that we have, in that it is essentially pure machine learning. And we don't think we've had anyone truly attempt that. So it's basically a bot that will attempt to cannon rush and put gateways approximately in its opponent's base, and all its decision making will be based on the machine learning result from its past experience. So it's not scripted to do this. It's not scripted on where to put things. It's deciding where to put them and how to do this as it goes. And I think you're going to see how that works. So this part here, the worker rush, look at how low it gets so many of these SCVs. And I think I get the cuteness of this, but I think it's wrong. I
wonder what triggered the recall, because the probes weren't taking damage. It's obviously working. Why didn't they just keep chasing the SCVs?
Yeah, just chase them.
Yeah,
because I don't think. I think had he chased them, then I think he kills probably 6 more of the SCVs.
It's over.
You can then retreat at will. Then you can recall at will. I think it was almost a case of doing this looks clever. It looks cute that he did that, but and it's impressive that he responded to that. But it wasn't actually the right thing to do.
Yeah,
attacking them was the right thing to do.
Indeed. All right. Well, as it stands, we have got, I believe, our next best of 3 ready. Oh, I wanted to point out, too. So those were all our bots tonight, are Python, except for those 2 we just watched. Tyr and Fidelina. Tyr in C# and Fidelina in Java. Ketrock, our other Java bot. Just thought that was interesting to point out, especially if you're a new bot author, you might want to look into Java. There's a lot more resources available. I'm sorry, not Java, Python. There's not resources available for Java. But if you check out Python, there's definitely some good resources available, the Sharpie framework, things like that. So just thought that was important to point out. But yeah, I think we're ready. Production, shall we hop into our next game? Three-way lover versus Doogie Howitzer, our final best of 3 of the night, here in our first day of the lower bracket on ES Champ. Let's get into it.
Yamabushi's Three-Way Lover. Mind me's Doogie Howitzer.
All right, so I'm just kind of reading through this info on Doogie Howitzer. There's a lot going on here. It's really kind of cool to see how this bot's kind of evolving using that machine learning or the reinforcement learning. He's definitely talking about, it's a bit of a struggle with his resources and that kind of thing, which obviously that's kind of to be expected. But that makes it just that much more impressive. Especially, I'm excited to see what we get here tonight. Hopefully we get a really good game against Three-Way Lover. But...
And we've got a double forge, both of them doing the forges. Oh. And here it comes through Lover, just ruining everyone's fun with the full wall off.
Yep,
so
that's what he does.
I think that's the
Oh, look, he wants to build a pylon there so bad.
It's a ball game already here.
Doogie, no. Build it on the low ground.
Exactly. Now he wants to put whatever.
That's right.
Okay. We'll get one on the low ground at least, but the high ground I think is gonna probably gonna dominate here. Doesn't understand entirely that he's been walled out.
That cannon's gonna shut the pylon down though for three-wheel lever.
Oh yeah, this is it. These will be behind. If he gets a pylon behind this, he does. Okay, good. That's something.
Okay.
But now three-wheel level will just build to whatever it's going to do.
Well, good. So we're going to have two cannon walls that aren't going to be able to do anything to each other. Okay. Yeah. So now that we've got 20 minutes to talk about this game, so I did three-wheel lever, and I'm curious if this full wall off is that. Said he blindly hard sniped Doogie Howitzer. Now, how do you blindly hard snipe someone? Do you just kind of close your eyes and throw the dart and hope for the best? Like,
I think that you just know that Doogie Howitzer only does this.
Okay.
And so all you have to do is wall off and you won.
Yeah. So I think that's the blind hard snipe. Just wall them off, keep them out, and boom, it works.
Three-way lever basically Three-way lever basically saw it was queuing into a game with printf and walled off. Like that's essentially all that happened. But the gateways will come down behind this. He'll try and attack up into this eventually. But three cannons kind of makes it, bad. Not work great. But I think the real issue is how does Doogie Howitzer not have a picture submitted? Because you could just give us a picture of Neil Patrick Harris.
There you go.
You could even
Neil Patrick Harris, but his face is a cannon.
Yeah, you could even Photoshop. I would be shocked, just downright shocked with how theatrical he is, that there isn't a picture of Neil Patrick Harris in a cannon.
Yeah, you're probably right.
He's done some show or something.
Oh, he's great. I love him.
No, he's not. Yeah.
Did you watch the thing he did, the Lemony Snicket's Series of Unfortunate Events TV show?
I did not.
It's on Netflix. It's actually really, really good. I'd never really read the story. I knew of it, but Neil Patrick Harris is just such a phenomenal actor. He really does a good job. Oh, Zell is getting donated to the cause here. So we're going to, see just the traditional kind of thing at Doogie, and this is just the hard counter. The Zealots are never going to get through here.
Yeah. And I love the overkill on three-way lovers side to go up to the fleet beacon. Completely
might as well.
The Oracle would have ended it. Anything would. I guess the Tempest, though, is going to be able to take out the cannons from a distance.
Yeah, the Oracle would die to the cannons. Void, well, he's got Voids coming out now, but then it should be Tempest. But, even the Voids will have a hard time dealing with the cannons.
Yeah, he may be able to snipe the front pylon, but that's not going to help. It's just something to have while he's waiting, I guess. Help with this. And
I think that's going to be GG.
Probably. So we now just have to wait.
Doogie. Well, Doogie had a definitely good little run. I'm really excited to see what Doogie has hopefully next season involved. It's not over just yet, but if both series are like this where it's just the hard counter against Doogie, it's nothing.
Yeah, and I can't see him not doing this. And Doogie would have to adapt by getting a pylon down on the low ground before
the cannon, or something.
And then he would have to juggle the vision up and down to make sure that he killed it. I just don't think that's in his wheelhouse yet. But I love that someone's doing this, and it's just a fun idea. Like, this is when you decide I'm going to do a machine learning cannon rush bot, your second thought is not, and that will win the tournament.
Yeah.
It's just a thing to do. It's a fun thing to do and try. And a lot of this is about fun and experimenting on what will work, even just conceptually. So I'm glad that people are still trying stuff.
Well, and that's the thing, printf can make it work on a GM level. Yeah. So there's no reason the bots can't make it work on a bot level. Maybe you just get that probe in there before a wall comes up and have them hide in the base or something. Send 4 probe. There's just so many different things you could do. And hopefully we'll see this machine learning kind of start going through those ideas and those strategies. And start developing, because I definitely think Doogie has a lot of potential.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting one. This might be one that'll be fun to set against a human player too.
Yeah, exactly. Have him try to deal with the really hard cannon rush. This is like print F level cannon rush, I think.
Yeah, something like that. So we'll see. Hopefully, over time, this evolves, and of course, because it's machine learning based, and this is always the somewhat the weakness of those things is in order to beat something, it has to see it. Like it has to, if it's a novel enough thing where your existing responses can't beat it, then you have to see it, you have to train, you have to learn how to adapt to it, and that could be really, really hard.
Yep. Yeah. So Tempest obviously are going to finish this off. Last two cannons about to go down, and then once the gateways are down, I mean, the Zealots didn't do anything anyway. So three-way Lover with a bit of a cheeky snipe here. Knew exactly what was coming up his way. But I'm really excited to kind of see the evolution of Doogie Howitzer and how this machine learning will be involved, because it is very hard to do, and it's very hard just to even make it into Probots with it. So well done, Doogie. We'll have a game number 2 here, but if it's like that, which I am predicting it will be, then we should be seeing three-way Lover move on. But we'll get that loaded up here, and we'll see. Maybe we're in for a surprise. Maybe Doogie learned like 100 games worth from that one game.
I think it's interesting, and we'll see in the next game too. The Tempest felt the need to micro away from Pylon.
I was thinking that.
And they dove on the gateway.
Well, the gateway is not going to fight back. The Pylon might have cannons around it. So
I do like it. Spares us some time. Doogie Howitzer GGs when its forward position dies. It doesn't wait until you come kill its space.
Mm-hmm.
That's a nice courtesy.
All right, well, we're getting game 2 loaded up here. Yeah, I'm just reading a little bit more here about how Doogie Howitzer trains, and I'm still a little confused. So it uses a 48 by 48 grid centered around a probe to train, and the issue is that sometimes it doesn't know where the main base is. He's currently actually even working on a newer version. So next season, we could see already a newer and better version of Doogie Howitzer. Hell, this season, if Doogie somehow manages to pull out a quick reverse, win here, we could see something. But no, it's exciting to see something like this where you just kind of send the bot off into the world, and it's like, all right, good luck. I hope you learn how to survive. I think that's really cool.
Yeah, it is pretty
natural selection, but for bots, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, that is like we say that, but like literally a neural net or something that is they refer to it as generations, and it really does survive. Like if
evolution,
it evolves, and then the ones that lose die, and the ones that win continue on until it gets better and better. That's the idea behind it. And I do like it. He kind of explains like that 48 by 48 grid kind of explains how it simplifies its kind of possibility space. If you let it go pixel by pixel, there's just too much to decide. Too many things. So by narrowing its view a little bit, you're getting
some focus,
that it can
more
actually,
focus.
you're getting something you can actually deal with.
Okay. I see it. All right, well, let's get game number 2 right.
Yamabushi's Three-Way Lover. Mind me's Doogie Howitzer.
Oh, don't get tired yet, Ender Sword. It's not over.
Sure.
We're on Ice and Chrome, and this is, again, best of 3 here, so we'll see if Doogie Howitzer can somehow make this cannon rush work. Okay, Probe is coming up.
Maybe he's learned already. Yeah, maybe he's learned already.
Oh, get that! Oh, he doesn't quite get it. But he does throw the pylon down right away.
Yeah, exactly. And he is ahead as well on the forge. His forge is faster. So if he starts a pylon right away and then kind of dances to the... I think he's got to do 2 of them. And then kind of dances to the high ground, then he could...
Well, but he can't get into the high ground, though.
No,
there's
he
no way.
Go up and down the ramp.
Oh, if you could break the forge, though, the cannon will be in range of that forge, actually. Oh, this game could already turn out totally differently.
It could be. The second cannon is that in range, though. If he got 2 cannons in range, it's actually doable. And I don't know. Yeah.
Oh, that's a pylon.
Oh, it's okay. Then never mind. It was never going to happen.
Even that one, it might be.
The first one will be in range. The problem is that he needs the high ground vision to attack, and he doesn't.
And now that the cannon's done, he's not going to be able to get high ground. Yeah. Well, but as the zealots keep going up, we saw that nonstop zealot one. He might be able to break down the forge and break through with zealots. If the zealots can get on top of the cannons, then just maybe Undersword.
It's a thing.
Have a little faith.
I don't know. There's going to be 3 cannons.
Definitely doesn't need those.
3-ray lover. If he was a little closer, if the second cannon, and which I thought the pylon was, but if the second cannon was closer, that they were both in range to attack the pylon, then it's possible. But they're not. So, oh well.
Oh well. All right. Well, let's wait till this gateway. So we haven't seen any gateways. What's Doogie doing? He's just building more cannons.
He's got to secure this position. Don't get ahead of yourself.
One step at a time.
No, we got to secure. You clearly need eight cannons before you can declare.
He had so many gateways last time by this one. Okay, there we go. There's one. He had like 5 gateways at like 4 minutes in or something, right?
Yes.
Now there's one.
It was a lot more. I mean, remember, it's making these decisions independently. Like, it's literally deciding just as it goes. So the fact that this map is shaped different, that he put cannons in different places, it's going to make different decisions.
Yeah, it's a lot more cannons this time, it feels like.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's see.
Will it be enough?
That's not... I think that gateway is going to be in range of 3... Oh, maybe not. No, never mind.
It's safe.
Yeah, it's safe. Oh, okay, yeah, that is pretty far. All right.
Yeah. Can the Zealot get out from there? I'm not sure.
All right, chat, what do you guys think? Do you think Doogie will be able to make it happen with the Zealots on the high ground, constant pressure, or will the Tempest get out in time? We've already got that fleet beacon on the way, and once the Tempests are out, it's over for sure.
Yeah, I mean, the decision is already, like, the game's already over. It's a matter of, can we have a moral, is there a moral victory where that forge dies?
Yeah.
And that's really all we're talking about.
Yeah, because he's not going to be, the Void even coming out now is going to be able to.
So how much? So two cannons can get on that forge. If a stream of Zealots comes out, that forge goes down.
Let's see. There are going to be a lot of Zealots popping out consistently. Yeah. The Void Ray is just going to add even more DPS, though, so the Zealot's going to die I think, that much quicker.
Can even kill the Void Ray. Nice.
Oh, he got the Void. Ooh. So those extra cannons coming in clutch.
Victory.
All right, he's halfway through the shields. Keep giving him vision. Zealot sacrifices will be made in order to break down this wall, but they are more than happy to do so. Oh, is this Zealot stuck?
That's what I said earlier. I think he can't even get out.
Oh God.
Yeah. I think he's just there now.
Yeah, so Tempest is out.
Yeah, with the Tempest, I don't think he's even going to get enough high ground to.
He scratched the paint job on the forge.
2 volleys each could be enough, but he can't lose this front cannon.
Oh, yeah, if he loses that front cannon, he's going to lose half his DPS, and that forge will never go down. Oh, but the Tempest is having a hard time choosing which one to attack.
Yeah.
Oh, God, more Zealots. Actually, but he's going to unleash multiple Zealots now once he kills that front cannon. So maybe 3 Zealots will go up and buy enough time.
Oh, that's
and be
true,
able to get a few swipes.
Really good point.
Because coming in 1 at a time is not cutting it, but maybe coming in 3 at a time.
Exactly. It'll take longer.
Yeah. Okay, so maybe...
He's going to get it. He's going to get it.
Oh, my God.
And then this will open the wall. Like, I think even the 1 cannon can finish.
But he can't. He just can't kill the Tempest, though. There's nothing. Well, I guess, if he can base trade, right?
Oh, that's so close.
Oh, here it comes! The Zealots! 4 Zealots coming in.
Down. Go after the pylon. Get the pylon.
No, there's 2 pylons. I think he's got to just kill the cannons, right?
Yeah.
Oh, but his own cannons aren't in range anymore, so he's got 0 support. The Zealots just aren't enough to cut it. And yeah, the Tempest have broken down the wall. Man, much closer. Doogie definitely took a better step in this game, but just not quite enough to make it happen. Not quick enough. I think had he prioritized gateways over all those cannons in the back especially, he might have been able to break that down sooner.
Yeah.
And get in there in time. It's really hard to say, but as it is, Doogie Howitzer is looking like a great bot with a lot of potential, but just not able to cut the mustard in this game against Three-Way Lover, who's just got so much experience. And with that, blind snipe, essentially.
Yeah,
it's just going to give him a nice chance here.
It's a hard counter, and that's going to be one of the harder issues. You could potentially end up making this bot something that could kill people. It would be very hard to make the bot good enough to kill people knowing that that's your opponent. Like that's a whole other level of learning.
Yeah. Well, and that's what, when we do our humans versus bot show match, we just need to not tell the humans what the bots are going to do, because hopefully we will get some more updates by that time. So we'll kind of see how that pans out. But well done. Yamabushi, your bot is moving on. Three-Way Lover will move on into the next round of the lower bracket. Doogie Howitzer, your run is done, and we are going to toss you in the scrap pile.
That's it. And we just won't tell Aaron that this is the one we're going to make him play at the end of the season. He won't. He'll never know.
He'll never know. No, it definitely has a surprise, has some potential. But all right, well, we've got 4 bots that have been eliminated, Endersword, and 4 that are moving on. Obviously, I think Tyr was a bit of a surprise to see get knocked out, but otherwise, the results looking about kind of what I expected.
Yeah, I think so as well. I think, again, Sprouts ran into 2 weird brick walls.
Yeah.
Or it's a little more that he brought his climbing gear. He was expecting a brick wall and found like a bouncy castle or something and couldn't scale it. Like it was just a weird thing to run into on both parts. So he's going to have a lot of potential in the future. So I hope we see Sprouts back because it's doing a lot of good things, just hit weird stuff. But Antibot, quite impressive with what it did. The Widowmine play, just crazy. I want to see that against some other bots as well.
For sure.
That was definitely cool. And Tyr, again, I'll insist that I think Tyr over-engineered.
Yeah, tried for the snipe a little bit too much. Yeah,
I think a little bit. Yeah,
kind of bit him in the butt there. Well, it happens. It's all part of the game, and kind of fun to see. And it's always fun to see a new bot take out, such a prestigious bot like Tyr, someone who's been around and is such a veteran. 2 pro bots, it's always one of the hardest bots to beat. So that's got to feel really good for Fidelina there.
Yeah, definitely.
For sure.
Definitely would.
All right.
Yeah, and then Blinker bot going on, getting the right builds against Mad AI. Pretty good. And then ultimately here, not really ever any question that Three-Way Lover beats Doogie Howitzer, but Doogie Howitzer is still really cool.
Yeah, for sure. No, I'm really hoping to see Doogie in the future.
Yeah.
And we'll hopefully see some more stuff. Yeah, like he said, he's already been training newer version. It's already got a lot more games in, like 7,000 games or something. So should be awesome to see. But yeah, that's it for the night. We're going to do a little post-bot show once we're done here. Thank you all for joining us. If you want access to that extra content, to that post-bot show that we do, that we just talk about the games and give some more predictions, that kind of thing, definitely check out our Crown Club membership. It goes a long way to support ES Champ and gets you a lot of really cool perks. And hopefully we'll be able to do some live finals in the future where you will get prioritized seeding as well. So things like that. So definitely check it out. All in the links in the description below. If you're a new bot author and want to make a bot, there is a bot able to be downloaded, a little template where you can get a nice start. I believe it's a Terran bot, right? It does some marine action. Something like that. So yeah, definitely check it out and get into it, kind of see how it works. And we'd love to see every season we get more bots, new bots in. So we'd love to see some more new bots next season and more new bots on the AI Arena ladder. We actually haven't talked about them. Big shout out to the AI Arena ladder. Checking them out at aiarena.net, I believe. Someone will post the link in chat there. But the top bots from that ladder are who qualified for pro bots. So if you want to get to ProBots, you got to go through them first. And it's a great community. They have a phenomenal Discord, a lot of really active bot authors who are all talking about bots, helping each other with it. And it's just really cool to see a community like that. So definitely check it out if you're interested. All right, what have we got? Let's do one more Crown Club membership shout out before we wrap things up. We love you guys. Let's run it.
Not that many people.
Marco, thank you so much for your support. And thank you to the rest of you all for being here. Thank you to our Crown Club. Thank you to the bot authors for bringing us such awesome bots and such great entertainment. It's really fun to watch these bots duke it out week after week. What do we got? 4 weeks left? Does that sound right? Yeah. Yeah, sounds right. So check us out next week, same time, same place here on ES Champ. You can get access to all that, again, in the links in the description below. We've got a cool forum where you can stay up to date with what is going on. We've got our Crown Club. We've got bot templates. We've got all sorts of fun things. So definitely check out all that stuff. Make sure you hit the thumbs up button as well real quick if you have not already. Helps give us a little bit more visibility on YouTube. So thank you all so much for that. And we really like you too, Savelas.
Of course,
you're great. We like all you guys.
We like your bot.
Good stuff. All right, so that's going to be it. We're going to go do our post-bot show, and we'll see you all next week. Again, 7:30 p.m. Eastern here for our upper bracket. I believe we're going into our upper bracket next week, and we'll take a look at that in our post-bot show. So all the more reason to subscribe and check out our Crown Club membership. But yeah, we'll see you all next week. Thank you, Undersword. Always fun. And that's it. Show's over. Get out. Go home, everybody. Good night.